Hi, everyone, and welcome to a Software Success. So good to be here with you. And you guys know at Software Success Live, we talk all things Dime software. And so I'm excited to be here with you today. And if you haven't already, as usual, tell us where you're watching from. Say hi over there in the chat. We'll just give a little bit of time for everybody to join. I have a feeling we might have a smaller group today because of the particular software, but trust me, today I'm going to actually talk about other things that you can do with any Dime software that will allow you to group and ungroup. So today's education, even though I'm using a specific program, I'm actually going to be sharing some tips and tricks and things that you can do that will work with any Dime program that will allow you to ungroup. So I'm excited about that because that I feel like is the way that a lot of us edit our design. So we like to pull parts and pieces out and things like that. So hopefully we'll have more people join, but if not, that's okay. Maybe they can watch the replay to get some other ideas about things that you can do with their software program. So I'll just say hi to a few people. So hey, my friend Sharon Schroeder. So thank you for joining, Sharon. Good to see you here, and Linda Johnson. So thank you for joining from your sewing room. So maybe you've got something fun stitching. And she says that she's in Savannah, Texas. So thank you for joining in, and also Laura Parks. So I'm seeing a lot of our frequent flyers here. So good afternoon from North Dakota. Thanks for joining, Janice and Eileen Reichert in Maryland. Thanks for being here. Marianne, appreciate you being here from Ohio. Pamela, good afternoon from Michigan. Judy, glad to have you here from Pennsylvania again. Good to see all of you. And Dawn from Creative Appliques. Thanks for being here, Dawn. So good to see you as well. Norma, good to see Norma from Los Angeles. So Norma, we almost could not be further apart. So thanks for joining, Jill, my friend in Tennessee. Glad to have her. She said it's raining cats and dogs at her house. Yeek! So I definitely am not a fan of the rain, but hey, it's what makes things lush and green, which I am a fan of. So, and then Jolyn, thanks for joining. Good to see you. And then Linda says, I always learn a lot from you no matter what the topic is stated. I'm glad you said that, Linda, because I do try to incorporate a little something for everybody in these so that it's not just specific about that one program. So thank you for saying that. So, and then Tammy, thanks for joining. You guys know Tammy. She's part of our education team here. So glad that she could join as well. Quilt Rose from San Antonio, Texas. Glad to have you here. And then our Dime team, welcome everyone. And love Creative Appliques Design, Norma Bates says to Dawn. So nice of a shout out there. So, and then April Taylor from Australia. Thanks for joining, April. Glad to have you here as well. So all right, so let's get started with today's topic. And then again, don't forget, like I said, I'm going to be sharing lots of stuff that you can do with this program. So today we're going to be using the My Emoji Stitches. Yes, Dime has a program that you can actually generate. I don't even say want to create because you really just generate them because of the way they're selected. Emoji faces, but also avatars. So avatars, a lot of you probably are seeing more and more of those these days where it's a cartoon looking version of yourself or someone else. And so these are stitched versions of avatars, but then also emojis. So, and I love using emojis because I think that we're so short and, quick to respond with our text and our instant messaging and things these days that you don't always convey the tone of your voice. And so, and that's what emojis were for, to create that emotion that you could see in just one little icon without having to try to make sure that you wrote every word to convey that emotion. So they're, as you know, a huge part of our lives these days. And so I'm going to show you how this program will allow you to generate different emojis. And then I'll give you a couple of ideas of things that you could maybe do with these. But then we're going to take it a step further. And then we're going to be editing some designs because this program doesn't have a long list of features. So it's a short list of features that are included, but hey, sometimes we've got what we've got and we've got to beg, borrow, and acquire still, I hate to say steal, but beg and borrow from other designs to build what we're looking for. So that's kind of what we're going to see a little bit of today, because we can group and ungroup with the My Emoji stitches. So, and I would love to hear from anybody. This program's actually been out quite a few years from when we actually were traveling and teaching in stores years ago. And so I'd love to hear from anybody if they have this program in your list of programs. So, because there's other things that you can do with the features in here to use elsewhere. As you know, all of your dime software works together. So the My Emoji Stitches is a very simplistic program that allows you to create emojis and avatars just by selecting from, like a wizard, the different eyes, the different mouth, the nose, the hair, things like that. And so you select it to build your emoji or avatar. And then once you're done and you say, okay, it's on your screen and it's ready to stitch. And it truly is that simplistic. So I'm going to head over to my software and we'll start taking a look at it. Now, since this program does have a fairly short list of features, I am incorporating lots of other things that'll help you in any dime program, even our free embroidery tool shed. So I wanted to go over, in this case, this screen that pops up whenever you open your software. I've talked about this in past software success, but it's been like quite some time ago that I've talked about it. So I always think it's good to reiterate. And since we've got a little more time today, I figured I would mention this. So this we refer to as our Inspiration Today page. It opens up every time you open any dime program that is connected to the internet. And when it opens, most of the time, I'm very guilty of just clicking this icon here to create a new design. But certainly it is worth paying attention to these other options here. So for instance, opening a design, whenever you click the open the design, it goes right to your file folder. And so you can go and open a design immediately if you know you want to start with a design that you've already been working on. So I'll go with this. I'll just open our ETS butterfly here and say open. And now when I open that up, it's ready to work with because it's on our workspace. But let me close this out and I'm going to go back and talk about the Today page more. So this is what your screen looks like when you have no tabs, when you have no workspace to work on. I get this question a lot, so I definitely wanted to point it out. Notice how every single thing in my list, except for these two icons, everything is grayed out. So these two, and then my videos and my about. So everything is grayed out because I can't use any of those tools because I don't even have a workspace active in order to use the tools. So I like to mention this because it may come up at some point and you're like, why is nothing working? Make sure you do have a workspace. So when you click the new, you can see now I have a workspace. A few more of my icons have become active and are not grayed out. But I still have some that are grayed out, and that's because I don't have something on my workspace that these tools would work with. So it's waiting for me to add things. But let's go back to the help menu and the today page. If you ever need to get back to this, you've closed it out and you really want to go back to it, this is how you get back to it. So help and today. And it opens that page up again. That is the first screen you see when you open your program. So I always urge everybody to look at these. It's just good to know what's here. And we've talked about this before about how to get to our software support. You can book a software lesson. As most of you probably know, we have private tutoring sessions that can be booked with one of our educators that teach those lessons, and that'll get you there. It's $30 for 30 minutes. And then you can view the free designs. That takes you right to the page where we have our on the house design every week. Dime gives away or offers you a free design. This was last week's cute little bunny treat bag. If you haven't downloaded it, click here or either click here and it'll take you right to where you need to be. You can click on here for some projects and then attending one of our events, and clicking here will get you to our page with our specials. Every week on Thursday, Eileen has a different special on a product. And so that'll get you there. And then these options down below here, we've already talked about open a design, create a new work page is what I've got going on behind me. It's just blank and waiting for you to add a design. Open a recently used file. If you click on this, it actually opens the last thing that you opened, and see there's our ETS butterfly. And then I'm going to go back to that today page under help and today, and talk about these last two options as well. So the what's new, as most of you also know, Dime adds new features and new updates to our software, fairly regularly. So if you click the what's new, it will open up a web browser that has our software updates. So let me pull my browser over. It opened up here on my other screen. So here it tells you what was done in the very last update. So you can scroll through there and see what's new. I definitely another place to learn your software. Here also in this what's new, it actually gives you a little description of how to use that new feature. And if all of you did not know, one of our biggest new and most exciting features that was added recently was the ability to send wirelessly to brother and baby lock embroidery machines. It will not send to the cutter, and at this time we can't send to other brands, but hopefully one day. But right now, brother and baby lock, you can send to those machines wirelessly if they have wireless capability. So that is the what's new. And then the last option here on the today screen is the user manual. When you click this user manual, it's actually the user manual for our embroidery toolshed basic feature. So as you guys know, embroidery toolshed houses all of our Dime software, and there are some basic common features amongst all of them that are in the free embroidery toolshed embroidery software. So if you click the user manual, that gets you to the manual for the embroidery toolshed features. If you're looking for features for your specific program, you would go over here to the purchases tab, and then you've got a list of every Dime software here that we have. When you click that dot next to it, now I can't click mine because I have it turned right now so that only my emoji is active. When you click that, it'll say manual, and then that's where you will find the features of the specific program that you own, which is right there in that shopping area. So just kind of a review. We've actually gone over that before, but like I said, my Emoji Stitches has a short list of features, so I felt like we've got plenty of time to do that. So, and we're going to go over some other things as well, but let's talk about the My Emoji Stitches features now. And then we will talk about some ways that you can edit as long as you've got the group and ungroup. Okay, so I'm going to start a new workspace. We've seen this a bunch of times. So that just gives me a new page. It's actually on a new tab down here below, so I can easily flip between working on 2 or 3 or sometimes 10 projects. I have a lot of them open from time to time. And now for the emoji software. So My Emoji Stitches and most of Dime software, this first icon on the second row, it has a it's like a starting point for just about any program that we have. So it's kind of the layout that's used. And also the first few icons in a program usually are features that are specific to that software. So in this case, if I click on the little emoji icon, it will open up this wizard. Okay, so the Emoji Stitches software allows you to choose from an emoji or a male or a female avatar. And then you start to build it with the mouth, the nose, the ears, the detail, the eyes, the eyebrows that you want. So let's start with the emoji. We've got 2 different faces here. You can see that the difference is really just the shading. And then just play. click through these different tabs, these different radio buttons, the different colors, and the different icons down here. So here is just changing the color. Now you can certainly change it on the screen, but this just gives you a way to change it easily and right from the beginning. And then you can choose these different facial features. So the mouth, you can choose from a different mouth. I just love it. To me, this is so fun just to build this. I think that it's really, really cute and a really fun program to play with. But you choose your mouth that you want, and like here we're a crying emoji is going to look like maybe. But me personally, my favorite emoji, if you've ever seen me present, my favorite emoji is laughing so hard that you're crying. So laughing out loud and crying is my absolute favorite. So we'll kind of go that route. So for the nose, I have a few different options. And notice when I select one of these down here, I have these arrows that will allow me to move that up, left, right. And then the arrow with the half, the corner box here allows me to grow that feature. Now, for me, for my emoji, I'm going to say no nose for this instance. And then we're going to head over to the eyes here at the top. And again, you select the type of eyes that you want. And look, isn't that cute? You get a different look with every eye that you select here. So that one looks like it's yawning, right? So, but it's just a really fun, cute thing to play with. And these are so popular with everyone, doesn't matter your age. I'm going to do this one here. And then over to the hair, we've got that you can add a halo or this little hair here. I'm going to say no hair, but then we can go and add detail. So here, that's my crying because I'm laughing so hard. I can add those and choose from other different emoji like add-ons here. So, and notice that I can only select one. So I'm going to show you, if you want to have you're laughing so hard that you're crying, then we can just edit that once it gets on the screen. Now this one, I want it a little bit further away from my eyes. So I'm just going to move that out, and we'll change the color here as well. And then so those are all of your different options there. And if you click random, I'm not going to do that right now, but it will randomly generate a different mouth, eyes, and the features, so that you can just create a bunch of different ones. So I'm going to say, okay, and put that on the workspace there. And so there, it almost looks like it's crying, not so much laughing, but I am going to say that it's laughing. So if I go over here in my sequence view, it comes in grouped. And so we're going to ungroup it. And this is the same in every Dime software. So if it says group over here in your sequence view, if you have one of the programs that has the group and ungroup, you're going to just click the ungroup on the toolbar. You can also, I'm going to do my undo. Another way to group and ungroup is to right mouse click, and then ungroup is right there. Sometimes that's easier and quicker. Okay. So now that we've ungrouped, I'm going to select the tiers here, and I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to add another color to my toolbar, and it right now is purple. So I'm going to click on that with my regular click and change it to a blue. And then now to change my tier to that color, I right mouse click to change that object color. Now, if I want tiers on both sides over here in my sequence view, I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to copy and paste. And this works in every Dime software that, again, has copy and paste. So I just copy and paste it right on top of it. I'm going to mirror image and then slide that over to the other side. Okay, so that is using it to create your own emojis. And of course, you can create as many as you want. And that also shows a little bit of editing in that particular option as well. So let's see what our comments are, and then we will go on to the avatar. And so just going back to see what everybody says. And so Denise Vollmer says she bought the program program at one of the events several years ago. So awesome. So hopefully, Denise, you'll learn some things today. So, and then my friend Bet, thanks for joining. She said, I have it, but I've never used it. So this will, you'll inspire me to give it a go. I think so, because I'm going to show you some other things too as well. So, and so thanks for joining, Dawn, from St. Louis. So good to see you. So Harriet Ann Palmer, thanks for being here, my neighbor to the north there. And so glad everybody could be here. And so I'm glad a few of you guys have this, but you may be using this with your another program. So you can certainly, as always, combine features as well. So, and then Rosalind, thanks for joining. She said she made it. So thanks for being here, Rosalind. If you missed anything in the beginning, I probably didn't miss very much, but you certainly always can rewatch these. So to everybody that is here today, you can certainly rewatch. And so Laura Park says it looks fun to use in embroidery designs. Yes, of course. And so, and I love, like I said, emojis are such a huge part of our life. So, okay, so let me go back over there. We'll talk about the avatar, and then I'll talk about more of the editing that you can do, even if you don't have a lot of features in the program that you have. So sometimes we have to make do with what we've got. And so that's what I'm going to show you today is let's talk about using the tools that we've got. Okay, so let's go back and then create the avatar. So I'm going to do the man's face here. And again, this is the same exact process. You can choose the face shape, a little more options because of the different face shapes, but also different mouth types. And if you're trying to create someone else, a thing to do would be maybe to have an image so that you are kind of, duplicating that. Choose from that different nose and the different ears here. So look at that. And also eyes. Look at these eyes. So many different options for shapes and things. And there's actually even more under the female because of the makeup that we put on. So there's many other options there. So different hairstyles, and then different details. So you can add these are like laugh lines and maybe some wrinkles, things like that. So you can even add things like that as well. So isn't that cool? I just love that. We don't want to add any lines. We don't want to admit we've got any of those. And then you can change the type of clothes that they're wearing as well. So just that top half there of the design. Now, if you just want to create something and you're not sure what, the random will actually put together different features randomly. So you can see here it's choosing different shape eyes, different nose, different hairstyle, glasses, even facial hair that you can see there as well. And so you just keep clicking random and just kind of see what you got. It even changed skin color there as well. So you can just click until you see something that you like, and then just say, okay. And again, it'll add that to your workspace. So now you might be wondering, what in the world would I do with these emojis and these avatars? So, but you can turn them into all kinds of things. You can gift them to someone, say that loves emojis. Or certainly you could create an avatar that is very similar to the person that you're giving it to, or maybe stitching it on someone's bag for identification. So without having to put their name, you could put a little avatar that looks just like them. So there are things that you can do with it. But I also wanted to point out, because these are part of our embroidery tool shed and you being able to ungroup, you can use these different elements individually. So one thing that I think, the eyes and the mouth you can certainly use, but just choosing to delete. I'm over here in my sequence view and I'm just selecting from my list here and just holding down my shift key and selecting a lot of the objects and then just deleting. So one of the things that I think would be super cute is to do, that was freckles, by the way. Let me do an undo here. So those are freckles. So you can actually add freckles too onto your avatar, which I think is cute. And so I'm just clicking delete and deleting these parts. So I want to leave just the eyes or the glasses or whatever. So I'm just clicking delete just to kind of show you that you can really delete. Notice this, I'm left with just the run stitch. Now, I don't need a run stitch ear shape, but you can see how if it was a shape that was useful, I can get down to that final shape there. So yeah, you can delete, remove these elements and then use them elsewhere in other programs. So I'm going to just delete the hair here and be left with the eyes. And then I'm going to select the glasses separately. So now I don't have the ability to go into the emoji and just select glasses, but I can delete all of those parts and pieces and just get down to the glasses. So the glasses, if I copy them up here on my icons on my toolbar here, open up a new page and I can paste them over here and I could do different things with these glasses. So let's go into some of the free designs in the software and scroll down. So over here in my sequence view area, I've got my sequence view where we look to see our stitches, but I also have this little book icon, which is my design library. Any dime software, you can get to this folder called Perfect Embroidery Pro Free Designs, and there's tons of free designs in here that you can use for your own liking. So these glasses, let me group them together actually. So I just click and drag a box and then I'm going to group them together so that I don't have them separating on me. And then take a look at this, this like Texas Longhorn here, bull or something. I'm going to bring my glasses to the front and you could actually do like one of those cute little designs. I'm going to make this a darker color and put those glasses onto another animal. I'm going to resize them. It does recalculate stitches, so I can resize my designs, but you can use those parts and pieces of your design from the Pet Emoji software for other projects. So I'm just using the built-in designs just so that if you do choose to, you can duplicate what we're doing here today. But any design that you own, you could bring into the Pet Emoji or other dime software, as you know. So I was just looking down here for some other different options here. We could put glasses on the Viking if we want, but I also want to go and talk about shapes. So let's take a look at, say, this shape here. So I'm going to double click it and it will open up. So now let's talk about just editing in general. No matter which dime software that you own, if you have one of the programs that will group and ungroup, which everyone will group and ungroup except for the embroidery tool shed by itself. If you have the free embroidery tool shed, it doesn't allow you to group and ungroup. If you can group and ungroup, that means that over here in your sequence view, you can delete by color. So I'm going to select and I'm going to delete everything here except for this shape of this shield. So I'm going to click and hold down my control key, and then I can click on the different layers just like this and delete everything except for the shield. Now also this shield has a fill stitch in it, and what my idea was that you could turn one of your emoji creations into a patch. So I'm actually going to delete the fill portion of this too, and then I'm left with only this frame. Now traditionally a patch, I'm just going to go in here and let's just randomly do a face here that we might like. We don't want any sad faces, so oh, that's kind of cute. The faces that you bring in, I can resize and it will recalculate the stitches. The same is true for my frame itself. I'm going to click and drag to resize. Now with a patch, traditionally you will have very similar to an applique where it's going to stitch a placement and a tack down so that you can trim away your fabric and then it will stitch your finishing stitch. Now we do not have the ability to create that here, but let's take a look. Sometimes, like I said, you got to work with what you've got. So in this instance here, as we watched that draw, we do get a run stitch, which is really our underlay. But we can borrow that and use it like a placement and a tack down. So over here in my sequence view, I can select just that run stitch, and I'm going to right mouse click to change it to a different color. And so that we can see that stitch separately. And actually that was just the tie off stitch in here in the beginning. It's actually doing the underlay, and I don't think I can select on this one. So I'll do another one. So this one actually is not going to let me select that separately. So I was thinking that run stitch was a completely separate stitch, but let's take a look now that I've changed the color. So that underlay, it's not going to let me separate it out because it's actually part of the satin stitch. So let me go to another shape and give it another try. So this is exactly what I do whenever I'm working in the software. So I try. If it doesn't work, I try something else. So I'm going to try this shield here. So let's go over here. And again, I'm going to go to my sequence view, and I'm going to delete by color everything that I don't need. Okay, so here to here, I'm going to delete, and I'm just going for my shield here. That's what I want. So I can either click on and delete, or I can delete over here in my sequence view as well. And if I want to drag a box around this, I don't want to select anything that is in the outside frame. So if I click and move this out of the way, really it's just this one little run stitch here. And so I'm going to press delete, and it gets rid of all of that. Now let's see what this one will do. So if I select my slow redraw and we watch this, we kind of have the same setup here, and then my finishing stitch, and I'm going to click on this run stitch, and I'm going to right mouse click on red to make it a different color. And then let's turn off this eye. And this one actually is leaving that run stitch. Now, the reason this one worked and the other one didn't is it was how it was digitized. That's all. That's the only difference. So this one was digitized where this run stitch is not. It's separate. It wasn't just selected as a part of the underlay. So I can make this separate. Now, is this ideal for an applique? No. If you've got a better way or a program that gives you the option to create a better stitch, I would do it. But what I wanted to share with you is that if this is what you have to work with, where there's a will, there's a way, right? Okay, so I've got my run stitch. So if I copy and paste this, copy and paste, it gives me exactly the same thing again. And I'm going to push the plus to add another color. And then I'm going to right mouse click on that color. And then let's turn our shield back on. Okay, so now if we watch this redraw, now look at my colors up here at the top. I have a red, a yellow, and a blue. And as you guys know, my machine's going to stop after every one. So that could act like a placement stitch for me. Then the yellow would act like a tack down, and then my finishing stitch over the edge. Now, again, when I'm showing you this, I have features in other dime software that would give me a single run stitch for my applique placement and tack down. If you have that, use it. But I really just want to show you that sometimes we don't have features, but there's still a way to get done what we need to get done. So that's all I'm showing you here, is that you can actually edit and get creative with what you have to produce the result that you want. So, so then you can go over to our emoji, which is still grouped together. And so I can copy it, or I can even cut it from this one, head back over here and paste it, and put that in my shield. And so my shield is actually not big enough. So I'm going to select my 3 parts over here in my sequence view, and those corner brackets there, I can click and drag to resize proportionally, or I can click and drag it wider if that would work better with my design there. And if I group these 3 together for my shield, so group these three. I selected all my parts by holding down my control key, and I'm going to go up here and press group. So now I have two objects. If I select both of them, I can use my alignment tool. I can vertical align and then horizontal align to get that in the center. Now, take a look at this. This is not what I would choose for the center, but what it's doing is, if you can imagine a square, it's centering it in that square, even though this part down here is narrow. So even though this is center of the design, I would probably prefer to move that up so that it was a little more visually appealing. So the software is making a mathematical call and centering it for you. But hey, our computers are not always right. So I'd probably move that up and have that centered. So I think emojis could be patches. I think you could stick them on backpacks. I think it would be cute to have tea towels for every day of the week. Maybe how you're feeling for your kitchen or for your bathroom, I think would be super cute as well. So let's see if we have any questions or comments, and then I will show you a couple more things. And if you've got questions, make sure you're asking over here, because I love to answer your questions. So, and then Creative Appliques, Dawn says, so many options and possibilities. Yes. And this program is like I said, it's got a short list of features, but that still doesn't limit you. Like, use what you've got. If this is all you've got, by all means, use some of those features in different designs as well. So, and Laura, we read this earlier, so it looks fun to use in other embroidery designs, and it absolutely is, especially the eye shapes. I'm going to go back to the female avatar in just a bit, because I think that we can think of a lot of things that we can do with those eyes over there. So, when working on a design element, it opens to show all of the details for each element. Is there a way to close them at one time without going to each element? Yes, there is. I'm not sure the feature is in the My Emoji stitches, but when I go back over there, even if it's not, I'll turn on one of my other software so that we can answer that. That's actually a really great question, Sandra, how to close all of those at one time. So, and Marianne says, you're just amazing. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. So I love your creativity, and you give us so many ideas and options. So I try. Sometimes I don't always feel super creative, but I love to play. And I think sometimes that's what spawns those creative ideas. So, and then Ellen says, how about the color stop to separate out the first report of run stitches with the finishing stitch? So yes, so the color stop was just me changing the color. So if you meant something different, Ellen, ask again. But yeah, with the, if I'm trying to force that design to act like an applique where it stops after each element, I just did 3 different colors, and so my machine will stop and want to change colors, and really that's my cue to put down my fabric and things like that. If you meant something different, certainly ask me again. I'll try to make sure to get your answer to you. So, and then Facebook user, not sure the name, but that's okay too. It says, what is the Tool Shed Plus? That's a great question. So, I know that everybody's seeing that in their list. It's actually a new program that we will have coming in March. And right now it's not available. So we're still working on that, but it will be a program that has your basic editing features with text. And so if you have another dime program like Perfect Embroidery Pro, or if you have another program that has text already in it, you will already have all those features. Embroidery Toolshed Plus will be for a user that maybe is the free Embroidery Toolshed and they're ready to step it up and start adding text and things like that. So that's coming, and you guys will see more about that in March. And as you know, once we release it, I'll definitely do a Software Success on that. So, and Embroidery Garden says, cute design to embroider all over jean jacket. And yes, absolutely. I think jackets, backpacks, kids love to put things all over their backpacks. So I think those emojis, avatars all over their backpacks, a good idea. And you guys know Reen from Embroidery Garden. So thanks for being here with us, Reen, as well. So always good to see you. And then Barbara Jones, she was answering Judy there. She said, we probably don't need anything, but our lives are so much more fun if we have all our toys. Barbara, oh my gosh, you are a girl after my own heart, because I totally agree. I have so many things I don't need, but I don't need that remote, or used to. You didn't need the remote, but we certainly enjoyed having it. And I don't need a rotary cutter if I could cut it with scissors, but I would rather use my rotary cutter on my straight edges. So I definitely agree. I love that. Thank you for that comment. So, okay, so let's go over and just see the female really quickly. And then if you guys have any other questions just about software in general, and then I'll talk about collapsing because that's actually a good feature for all of our dime software. So I'm going to ungroup here. So do my ungroup. And I a lot of times will use shortcut keys. And to find the shortcut, if you hover over any of the icon, you can see that it gives you a little message there for that F2 video so you can watch to see how to use it. But it also says in that little box, I know it might be hard to see depending on what size screen you're viewing on, but like the paste, for instance, says paste Control plus V on your keyboard. So Control C copies, Control V paste, and I use those a lot. It'll actually make your editing and things go quicker once you learn those shortcut keys. And so here we've got lots of things that are open, and we were wanting to know if we could collapse them all at once. So, and actually it is in this software. So if I click on the all items, right mouse click, and your drop down list here says collapse all or expand all. If I click collapse all, it will close them all up so that I'm just dealing with the object itself. Because if I click the plus, these are the actual stitches that make up this object. But this is one object is what we call each of these pieces in here, or layer of our design. So if you do a right mouse click on the all items, you can expand everything so that you can see all of those different parts and pieces. If you right mouse click, you can collapse all to close them up. And also, here's another one that's under your right mouse click that is a really good handy tool to use. So under the view option, you can lock and unlock all of them at one time. So when we lock a design, and I'm just going to do one part. So if I lock, say, the main part of the face here, that means that I could move everything, but I can't do anything to that part that's locked. Not only can I not accidentally move it, but I can't even change the color of it. So this is pulling from color number 6, which is right here. If I wanted to change it to red, I'm clicking and right clicking on the red and nothing is happening because it won't even let me change the color. So when it's locked, you can't do anything to it. So I'm going to do an undo and put my face back. And then I'm going to do a right mouse click and then view. And we're going to unlock all, make sure everything's unlocked. And then also you've got these show all and hide all features. So that is the little eye next to that object. So if you have several layers hidden by clicking on this little eye here. So I'm going to hide some different parts and pieces here so we can see what I mean. So I've got 3 different things hidden. If I right mouse click on the all and under view, I can show all, and it'll bring them all back. And I'm going to hide some of these again. So let me hide the face. And then the other option that was there, I'm going to do a right mouse click, and under view, you see fade hidden. So whenever it does fade, it's really hard to see on here. Let me see if I can change that to a different color. Let me unhide it, change it to a different color, and maybe we can see here. And then I click, it's still kind of hard to see, but do it on your computer. That fade hidden, it actually still shows it in the background there, but it's just hard to make it out. It's just so that, you know, like if you want to see what's going on without it being completely hidden. So if I do a right mouse click, view, and that is show hidden. So play with that on your software, and you can see the difference. So the only other thing that's in here that we did not talk about, we created our own frame, but you can also add a frame here. So let's do a female avatar. Now the female avatar, I think, has many more options for the eyes because of, you know, we wear makeup and things like that. But I think these eyes would be super cute if you isolated those eyes and just put them on like a maybe a little mask for a sleep mask. So I think that'd be a cute idea for just the eyes. So it looks like the eyes are open when your sleep mask is on. I think that would be cute. We'll make some purple glasses for my friend Tammy Madden if she's still viewing. She loves purple. And then your hairstyles. So you can choose from different hairstyles there and colors. So just because I'm clicking on these colors, so down below we have lots of color chips for common, hair colors. And certainly you can change it once you get it on the screen as well. So change your hair color to whatever you'd like. And then, okay. And now this one icon here, the last one I'll talk about, are frames. So if you wanted to make a frame around your avatar or your emoji before you stitch it, my absolute favorite is like the Polaroid. So I think that that's so cute. I'm from that generation where I loved the Polaroid and had one whenever I was younger. So it's kind of nostalgic. So I really like that. But those frames are built in. You can change it to be whatever you want. So I'm going to undo because it put a frame around my whole frame. So let me delete this frame here, select our, undo and get rid of that. And then I'm just going to select my avatar again and then click my frame. Let's see if it'll do it that time. So there we go. Because the frame actually puts it the right size around the avatar that you have on screen. So when I had one frame and added another, it was putting a frame around a frame. So, but isn't that cute? I think that it's just fun. And then, like I said, you can play with this and do things with it because you can group and ungroup that you might not be able to do if you just have, a program that doesn't allow you to group and ungroup. So, but the eyes for the females. So I think that would be really cute on like a makeup bag. You could put on like an in the hoop bag, adding the eyes would be really cute for makeup. I think that you could separate the eyes out and also put them, like I said, on a sleep mask would be really cute. So I think there's just tons of stuff that you can do, but you just have the ability to do the, to use those features because they're built in. So, okay. So we answered that about the Embroidery Tool Shed Plus and then Reen and her jean jacket. So I don't see any other comments here for today, but let me head over and share with you what I'm going to be talking about next time. So in 2 weeks from now, we are going to be talking about Dime's vintage embroidery software program. Now, this is a very unique embroidery software. In fact, we're the only one in the industry that has anything like this. So if you haven't ever seen our vintage software in full effect, then make sure you join me on March the 19th at 1 p.m. Central. I'll be talking about how to use that. But what this type of stitching is very, very unique because the designs and the digitizing features that are built into vintage embroidery allow you to use thicker embroidery thread. So we used to have a 15 weight, but this also works with 12 weight. So if you've got a 12 weight thread, you can run that in your embroidery machine, but the design itself has to accommodate that thick thread. So you cannot just take your regular embroidery design and just start running a 12 weight thread because it's a lot thicker. But the designs and the capabilities of the vintage embroidery software will allow you to either convert a design or you can use the built-in design. So it's using a thicker thread. And to me, this mimics like hand stitching. It's irregular, a lot of them, and uses a really bold, chunky thread. So that's what we're going to be talking about on March the 19th. So make sure you join me in a couple of more weeks to see. And as always, even though I will be showing features from vintage embroidery, I will also share with you features that certainly will work in other Dime software as well, because we use some of those common features in every single thing that we do. And so, so make sure you join me in a couple of weeks for the vintage embroidery. And that's actually one of my favorite Dime software as well. So if you don't have my emoji stitches and you are interested, first and foremost, I always like to say, check with your local dealer. If there is any Dime software that you want to purchase, they can give you the best deal of all. And I always love to support our local shops. So, so make sure you head over there, check out the My Emoji stitches, but certainly if you don't have a local store, you can purchase it from our website as well. And that is our pricing for that particular program. So in a couple of weeks, I will see you on the vintage embroidery software program. And I hope to see you all there and many more. So until March the 19th, when I see you again, we'll say bye for now and thank you all for coming.